Hello, welcome. This is Tiger Lilith Tarot, and this is going to be a dark moon reading. We are going to be taking a look at what shadows are coming out to play during this moon phase. Right now we are in the Balsamic Moon phase, also known as the dark moon phase, and this is a time when the moon is not able to be seen in the sky, so the night sky is black. And during this time, shadows feel more comfortable to come out to play. So we're going to look through every sign to see what shadows, fears might be coming out for you right now. Since we're in Gemini season, we're going to start with Gemini. Gemini placements. What fears are coming out right now? Let's see, we have the Four of Cups. Meditation. Fear of stillness. And the Queen of Cups. Intuition. So Gemini. Fear of your emotions looks to be presenting itself. High Priestess is at the bottom of the deck here. You might feels like you've been sitting in the potential of something. Your fear has been, it's like this this shadow side. It's coming out. It's like it's been waiting to. The Four of Cups is pulling away from emotion. And the Queen of Cups is your intuition. High Priestess, intuition. There's a fear of stillness. Sitting with your own emotions. Let's see. Let's see why with the Four of Cups. Why do you fear meditation? With the Seven of Swords, deception. So you fear that by slowing down, by looking at your emotions, you will realize that someone has deceived you. The Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Maybe someone you know in your own home. You fear looking at your emotions because there's a realization that you fear the realization that you're going to have to move away from something. Something that still brings you joy, but that doesn't let you sit still. Why is Queen of Cups? Gemini's fears. Perspective, number 12, the Hangman. You fear There's a black and white way of looking at things that causes a fear inside of you. The Emperor at the bottom of the deck. Fear of looking at structures you've already built. I almost feels like you don't want to put yourself in a position to get another perspective, because if you do, then you will realize that you've been deceived. Or you will find that there's been deception, possibly not by someone else. It could be a self-deception with the Seven of Swords. you could realize that there has been deceptive behavior, but you might have been deceiving yourself with your own emotions, and by not sitting still, the hangman doesn't move. He is hanging upside down. So the large fear, Gemini, is slowing down and stopping. Okay, let's look at Cancer placements. For Cancer placements, what shadows are coming out to play? That was quick. The Ace of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Energy and fear. Oh, that's interesting. Fear came up, so you fear fear. Queen of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. Seems like there's something about your own desires and your own vibrancy. There's something about there's something about being fearless, Cancer, that you fear. The card actually says fear on it for what you fear. So you fear fear. I almost feel like you're so afraid of anxiety and depression that you won't allow yourself to get going. Let's see, why is this Ace of Wands here? So this fear of fear keeps you away from your own energy. The Nine of Discs, culmination. Your energy, putting energy and a spark, following your instincts, I think would lead to a lot of success. The culmination of projects, perhaps. But you fear the burdens that these beginnings are going to bring. You might even be having nightmares about this, or fearing that you are going to have nightmares. The Tower is at the bottom of the deck. You're afraid of your dreams as well. You're afraid. I don't think you're afraid of your dreams, but it feels like you're afraid of pursuing them because of the burdens that they are going to bring. The burdens, you're looking at your dreams, your own dreams, as burdensome and as something that will cause you that will put unnecessary demands on you, and so you fear the things that you have been dreaming about. Okay, we're going to move on to Leo placements for the dark moon, for Leo placements. What fears coming out? Shadows. The Ten of Discs and Temperance. Okay, Leos. Establishment and patience and harmonizing, balancing yourself with the universe. It feels, Leo, Sorry about that. Feels like you are afraid of building something balanced, establishing something that is establishing a balance inside of yourself, a spiritual balance maybe. No, I think this is more your own. This is stability, the Four of Discs. I think this is about your material world. There's a fear of balancing your material world with your spiritual world. Let's see why. The Seven of Swords, deception with establishment. So you fear that you're going to have to walk away from something that you build, something possibly that you take years to build, because of being deceived by it. This is a fear that looks way into the future. And with Temperance, we have the Six of Swords, transition. There is movement away from chaos and self-doubt and a win-or-lose mentality that you're afraid to transition out of, because you fear a deception that's already... You fear a deception in an establishment that hasn't been established yet. Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck, resilience. I think there's a fear of going on a journey, on a path, that you won't have the resilience to complete it. This is a path you've been down before, and that's why you think there's already deception where there is not. The transition will bring in a balance, but the balance scares you because of past establishments that have deceived you. Past connections, past possibly familial connections. I don't really get that here with this card. I feel that it's just establishments. Could have been work, a place you worked for years, deceived you. Could have been a place you lived. So because there was deception before, you fear deception again where there is none. Okay, moving on to Virgo placements. For the dark moon, Virgo placements. What shadows are coming out? What fears? We have the Princess of Swords and the Five of Swords. Curiosity and defeat. There's a fear of being too focused on just one thing. There's a fear of looking at something too closely. Because I feel that if you look too closely, you think you'll see the flaws and will feel defeated. Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck, innocence. There's a fear of being a student again, of going back to learning and being curious and focusing on these curiosities. It's like you've already decided that they're going to mentally defeat you. This is all, right? These are the swords. This could be something with your past. We have the Six of Cups, innocence at the bottom of the deck. You could be afraid to look at something from your past because it brought you defeat before, and so you think it will again. Could be afraid to talk about. Let's see. Why is the Princess of Swords here? Why is this shadow? King of Wands, leadership. There's a fear of there's a fear of researching and looking at something with an idealistic way, because if you look at it in an idealistic way, then you will be seen. You will be in a leadership role. The Tower at the bottom of the deck. And something about this leadership role would break a structure. Why is the Five of Swords here? What is this fear? The Chariot. Movement forward. Five of Cups at the bottom of the deck, disappointment. You're afraid to move forward because your mind is already telling you that you've been defeated, that there's been a defeat, that there's your own self-doubt and mulling over the past. The fear of moving forward keeps you in the past and in disappointment and defeat. And it keeps you from taking a leadership role. Moving on to Libra placements. Libra placements under the dark moon. What do shadows are coming out for Libras? Okay, we have the Six of Swords and the Princess of Swords, with the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck. You fear leaving behind a situation that is tumultuous but comfortable. It's caused a lot of challenges, but you fear leaving it and transitioning into a new phase. Because it means you're going to be happier. There's a fear of your own fulfillment and your own wishes coming true. You might be very close to your wishes coming true. And this is the last leg. And this transition into a very curious mindset could be the last transition. Let's see. Six of Swords with the Eight of Swords. Isolation. You fear that leaving this situation that's chaotic and has caused you challenges is going to create isolation, that you won't be surrounded by people anymore. You're fearing your own new beginnings, a new mentality. Been stuck in the same mentality. It feels like trying to unlock a door that would not unlock. You couldn't find the right key combination. The Two of Swords with the Princess of Swords. All swords out here. Lots of mental energy. The Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. It's kind of the fear of committing to something. Of committing, I think, to your own happiness. You're very in your head about this. There's a fear of making a decision to be a student again. To be an intern. To go backwards in order to go forwards. A fear of making the decision, so there's procrastination. Thinking about the decision instead of taking action and committing to the decision. Scorpio placements. For Scorpio placements for the dark moon. What shadows are coming out for Scorpio placements? Ten of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Discs. Despair and culmination. You fear allowing yourself to grieve something that has caused you to become very independent financially. But hurt you very deeply in the process. Judgment at the bottom of the deck. Accepting this pain and growth would lead to a realization, an awakening. It would leave you seeing something that you can't unsee. You will have seen something in a new way. I think it's yourself. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of a situation, you would see this situation as one that gave you an opportunity to grow and be more independent and self-reliant. The Ten of Swords. Let's see why this is here. Why is this fear here? King of Wands, leadership. As opposed to taking on a leadership role and being bold and dynamic about an energy, or about a project of yours, about anything really that you feel passionate about. The Ten of Cups at the bottom of the deck could be about your own happiness and harmony and emotional bliss. Instead of taking a leadership role in that, you fear taking a leadership role in that because I think you fear the responsibility it brings And so there's a choice to remain in a victim mentality and in despair, mental despair, as opposed to lead. Nine of Discs. With the Prince of Discs. Reliability. You're afraid of being reliable, of being someone that people can go to, someone that has boundaries, someone that shows your worth to others. Perseverance at the bottom of the deck. Taking on a project and completing it from beginning to end. Fearing the journey. I think you're afraid to take these things on because you feel you won't be able to live up to the responsibility that you'll put on yourself and that others will put on you. So mentally, you remain in despair and hopeless. Okay. For Sagittarius placements for the dark moon. What shadows coming out for Sagittarius placements? Dark moon. The Hierophant and the Emperor. With the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. There's a lot of fear right now, Sagittarius. Fear of a commitment. Fear. I feel like you're having a fear of what decision needs to be made. There's a decision to go towards a commitment, or there's a decision to go towards something that feels instinctual. I think you don't know which one to choose. But there's a fear of commitment, a spiritual commitment, because you're afraid it will box you in the material world and create a structure and stability that you won't be able to escape from. Why is the Hierophant here? Strength, number 11. You fear you won't be able to keep your temper when it comes to a commitment, when it comes to committing to stability. The World at the bottom of the deck. It's almost like you're afraid of everything becoming aligned. That everything would become aligned if you could confront this energy of commitment that is causing fear. Why is the Emperor here? Number 12, perspective. The Five of Swords at the bottom, defeat. You're fearing the progress of something. 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're fearing the progress of your own commitments. Because from the beginning, you're fearing that there is it's like you're fearing that you won't have the acceptance and understanding and compassion necessary to go on the journey that the commitment would require. So you don't go on the journeys because you're fearing, I think you're fearing what you'll find and how you really will feel about commitment. Okay, for Capricorn placements, the dark moon. What shadows coming out to play for Capricorn placements? Okay. Too many. That many. Let's see. Five of Wands and the Nine of Discs. Competition and culmination. Capricorn placements. You're afraid of engaging in playful competition because it's going to take away from your independence. Perspective at the bottom of the deck. There's a fear of looking at things from different angles because you like the way things have always been done. So you don't want to look at things from another perspective. Looking at things from another perspective might make you realize that you want to engage in competition. You want to go on a journey. You want to go on a journey that might sacrifice some of your self-reliance, but that would fulfill your passions. Why is the Five of Wands here? The Hierophant. You're afraid that this adventure, this playful adventure, will lead to a commitment, will lead to Hermit at the bottom of the deck, will lead to your beliefs and values being challenged and you having to go inward and to possibly change some of those beliefs and values so that they align even more with your true self, with who you are. With the Hierophant is a spiritual conduit. So you would align with your belief system, which might change if you looked inside. The Two of Swords with the Nine of Discs and the Princess of Discs at the bottom of the deck. If you made a decision to sacrifice some of your self-reliance, some of your money, a manifestation that you called in would be brought down to earth and presented to you. But your main fear is changing a belief system. Is a belief system of yours being questioned, and you looking inside and finding that there might not be something about your actions or your behaviors that display exactly who you are. But changing those things means changing your ideas and belief systems. And that is a fear that's coming out. Okay. For Aquarius placements under the dark moon, what shadows are coming out for Aquarius placements? What shadows are coming out under the dark moon? You have 0, beginning of a Fool. 10 of Discs, establishment. You fear taking a leap of faith, trusting your intuition, beginning a journey that has no foundation, that has no material foundation, because you fear that it can have a foundation. You fear that what you want can happen. The Chariot at the bottom of the deck. You fear movement forward. You could possibly be fearing actually moving homes right now. You're fearing your own willpower, that you are powerful enough to take nothing and create a complete establishment with it. But that is what you fear right now. Why? Why is beginnings here? Fool. The Empress, number 3. You fear your abundance, fear of your own creativity, your own vitality, of your own generosity. Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, movement. You fear that if this new beginning creates wealth and abundance, that you would be too generous with the wealth and abundance given, and that it wouldn't be replenished when it would, because of the Empress. Why is the 10 of Discs here? Why Aquarius fear establishment? Prince of Swords, determination. Fear the determination, the movement and effort, change that it would take to create a foundation that can withstand and withhold. Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. A fear of something being lucky. Fear of the natural cycle of the beginning and the end, of inception and creativity and vitality and determination, establishment. There's not a fear of the middle. Well, there is a fear of the middle because there's a fear of the beginning and the extended ending. Okay, for the dark moon, for Pisces placements. Pisces placements. What shadows are coming out for Pisces placements, the dark moon? The Emperor and establishment. Pisces, I think you fear structure. Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. There's a fear of energies coming together in unity to build a solid foundation. You fear bringing things down to earth, grounding them, and creating a structure and a routine around your home and family. You could fear the boss that you work for, that you don't like confronting him or her. I say him because it's Emperor, masculine energy. There's something about a like a boss or a master type of energy that you are fearing in work or business or in your home. Why is the Emperor here? Eight of Swords, isolation. There's a fear that someone creating, that you having to follow the boundaries and structures of another person will isolate you. That you won't be seen if you have to go by other people's rules. Why is establishment here? Death. And you're afraid to transition out of this energy. You're afraid to end something that is established with an energy that's making you feel, that makes you feel isolated. So you fear following the structures and boundaries, but you also fear transitioning out of them. Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. You fear the progress that this will bring you in your life, and the stability and structure that it would provide, because you don't want the stability and the structure, because then you wouldn't be able to operate inside your own structure, one that you've created, not anyone else. Okay, Aries placements we're going to look at for the dark moon. What shadows coming out for Aries placements? The moon and the devil. There's a fear of being confused and blinded by your own emotions and curiosity, that you will give in, that you will indulge too much in your desires, in your physical desires, that your emotions are so deep that they blind you from seeing something isn't good for you. Why is the moon here? The Queen of Cups, intuition. You're fearing your own knowing about a desire that you have. The Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. A physical desire that you have. You intuitively know that it will hold you down onto this material world and keep you bound. You fear that you will go towards it anyway. Yeah, you're very afraid of this devil energy, very afraid of the confinement that it will bring you. The Tower at the bottom of the deck. Fearing the structure that it will bring down. Knowing intuitively that something about an energy that doesn't support you, but you're holding on to. Holds you bound by your emotions. For Taurus placements, the dark moon. What shadows are coming out for Taurus placements? The universe, or the world. And the Eight of Swords, isolation. The Tower at the bottom of the deck again. You fear, there's a fear that alignment, that spiritual alignment will cause you to be isolated and removed from reality. That aligning with having all of your chakras aligned and feeling very balanced and stable and exposed will cause a foundation that you've built to come down. Possibly a foundation that's built in your mind. Why is the universe here? What is the fear? With the Ace of Swords. You fear that this alignment is going to bring you clarity, a mental clarity. That your mentality will be shifted but also cleared. Why is the Eight of Swords here? The Ten of Swords. Despair. So you fear coming out of your own mental prison that you've created for yourself, because it means that you will no longer be seen as in despair, that you will no longer be able to be seen as the victim or the martyr in a situation, that you will be aligned and clear and balanced, with Temperance at the bottom of the deck, exercising self-control. So you fear balance. You really fear a spiritual balance because of a mental clarity will bring you. Because this mental clarity will remove you from a reality that you've created in your mind. All right, that's all of the signs. I hope you all have a wonderful dark moon.